Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
My name is Fajar. I'm from PPIS Family Therapy Institute, and today I have with me.
My name is Siti, Aminah, and I'm from PPIS Vista Sakinah.
Today we are here to have a conversation around self-mastery and coherence, and how that can help in attaining Sakinah. So Aminah, what do you think are some of the changes that individuals and families are experiencing at the moment? I think one of the things that I observe is, the kind of changes that is happening at home, when everyone is in the same space.
Yes, definitely. I think we hear from the ground there's a lot of changes, and these changes are very real, Fajar. They can see that they are working from home, and suddenly the family members are all also at home. And then not only that, we are also working from home, and we're also juggling all the managing the roles that they have to do. Right?
Family routines definitely have changed, as well as our day-to-day routines, living with the community. So we can't go to mosques anymore at this point of time, and I think that has affected some members of the community to a large extent. So Aminah, what do you think is the effect of these changes on individuals?
Right. As what we mentioned just now, these changes are very real, and it can be prolonged, right, Fajar? I hear it can be prolonged. So some of the challenges that an individual face, firstly in terms of physical being, because of the limited routines, limited activities, our body will become less active, and this will make us more tired and more exhausted. Secondly, in terms of our mental capacity, because our mind are occupied to think about meeting our family demands daily, and also carrying out our responsibility in work and also with the family. What are the challenges that you think an individual may face in this trying time?
I think the other challenge and effect that individuals may go through is the impact on their emotions. I think one of the primary emotions that individuals are really needing to hold at this point of time is the uncertainty. The uncertainty of what might happen currently in the pandemic, what will happen later on after COVID-19. So this sense of uncertainty is here to stay, and I think that will definitely take a toll on our emotional coping. I think lastly, the other effect is the spiritual effect on the individual. So I think not being able to engage with activities at the mosque, we are needing to really find out and recalibrate in the kind of activities that we engage in. Individuals seek classes online, or some of them don't even seek classes online, and they struggle with that.
The zakat online as well, right?
Yes.
So Fajar, with all these challenges that an individual face, how can they maintain or how can they manage the coherence or what we want Sakinah in themselves within this time?
I think, thank you for that question. That's an excellent question, Min. So I think the first thing that individuals need to do in order to sort of nurture coherence within themselves is, number one, they would have to acknowledge the multitude of feelings that they are experiencing at this point of time. On day one, I wake up, I feel alright, and you're like, I'm gonna get a grip of the situation right now, So come 3 hours later, we might be feeling very down about, I'm getting bored, I don't know what to do, and day one is okay, and you zoom to day 10, we get very angry and annoyed and worried.
Because it's at the same space again and again and again, right? I agree with you, Fajar. These feelings we need to acknowledge, because if we try to push or try to ignore, right, I think we create tension within us, and this is something that we don't want or we don't need at this moment.
And I think connected to that, which brings me to the next point, is I think we need to be able to manage our expectations about our adjustment to the changes at the moment. So we need to manage our expectations about how we understand what we're going through, how we embrace our own responses, and the kind of adjustments that we ourselves and our families need to develop.
Alright, I agree with you. In these trying times, we mustn't compare ourselves with other people. If let's say they are able to do it, they are better at managing everything, even work and home, we must not be affected by that, right? Because I think everybody has their own way of coping, especially when they want to find coherence as well as Sakinah in them. Right, Fajar?
Right. I think, for example, mothers have a tendency to compare themselves to other mothers, So I look at my friend, being able to manage, multiple assessments, giving the child, able to cook a full meal and then still be able to work from home, So I think these are the kind of comparisons that we do not need at this point of time. Yeah. So I want to move on to the next point about how individuals can actually nurture coherence within themselves, which is the process of making sense and making meaning. So we make sense and make meaning in different ways. Some of us would turn to spiritual beliefs. Some of us would look for more information. Some of us will look at our relationships and our interaction and review them. Yeah.
I think some of us will depend on the information that we get, and it's important for us, Fajar, to find this information from the right sources. And also we need to know, if we keep knowing everything and with added pressure and added tension within us, this is something that we don't need at this moment, right? Because what we need is to find coherence, and so also Sakinah for us in also like trying to manage the situation right now, right?
So I also want to share an example about how sometimes when we try to make sense, we lean into spiritual beliefs. And I think one of the common ideas I hear among the community in relation to COVID-19 is this, that COVID-19 is a musibah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I mean, I think I'm not saying that this belief is wrong, but if we stay with just this particular belief, we'll feel incapacitated. We cannot do anything. Yeah. However, if this idea sit alongside, the invitation that Allah gives to us to seek His mercy, His love, and even His invitation for us to find Sakinah within ourselves and our community at this point of time.
MashaAllah, that's a beautiful statement. In trying times like this, words like Allah's mercy, Allah's blessing, and Allah's love is something that we find peace within, right?
Yeah. So I think the next the next point that we can share, Aminah, is this. I think it is important that individuals really look for things that fit with them, because there is a tendency to think that, if it works for someone else, it should work for us.
Yes, definitely. I want to give you an example for I would agree with that, because sometimes when we do things that doesn't fit us, it will not only affect us but also affect other people around us, and this is something that we don't want at this moment, because other than you facing uncertainties, you also facing uncertainties with people around you, and this is something that we don't want to face, right, Fajar?
Yeah. So it's kind of a ripple effect across the individual and their relationships. Yeah. So that brings me to my last point. So I think if you probably can't remember the other things that we shared today, I think this is one thing that we feel that is important for you to remember, that attaining coherence and Sakinah is a mutual process. You cannot attain Sakinah on your own, because what others do, what happens around you, will definitely affect you and how you make sense of things and how you find balance between within and outside of you.
So it's important for us to communicate our needs, expectations with our loved ones, our family members especially. From there, we can work on our expectations and experiences.
Yeah, so I perfectly concur with what you say. So I think we've spoken at length about what individuals can do to nurture coherence within themselves with the hope of attaining Sakinah. We've spoken of, what was the first thing we mentioned?
Acknowledge the multiple feelings.
Acknowledge multiple feelings, needing to manage expectations.
Make sense with what's happening around us, and also try to find fit in ourselves, right?
And lastly, I think again we want to stress the importance that building coherence and Sakinah is a mutual process with others around us. So is there any thoughts you have after we've spoken at length about this matter today?
I think, Fajar, before we close our conversation, what I want to share is, in trying times like this, everybody and families, they want or they love to be in a place where they feel safe, right, Fajar? Not only safe, but they also want to be in the place where they feel ease, and also they also want to be in the place where they feel peace. But we need to know, right, Fajar, in order for us to attain the Sakinah and coherence, there's a process that need to do it. We need action, we need effort, and we also need the coherence, right?
Yeah. So I think that's a beautiful thing you said, Aminah. Yeah. So I also want to say I believe this is something that I speak on behalf of you as well, Aminah. So we have faith that families in the community as well as individuals are able to find coherence in these trying times. We do acknowledge that seeking coherence and hoping to attain Sakinah can be a struggle. Yeah, but we believe, like what Aminah said, with effort, with ikhtiar and usaha, definitely, as we go along the past few weeks and the coming weeks, we would be able to have self-mastery over this coherence and Sakinah.
What's that in your hand?
Oh, this colorful piece of work. I don't know if you know me. Our colleagues have worked so hard to develop this information kit for individuals and members of the community. Let's show them a bit about what's inside the book. So there are a lot of things such as tips or facts. For example, some of the things we've shared today can be found in the book. And there are also suggestions that for activities that families can do during this period of time. So Aminah, you want to share with the viewers where they can actually get this information kit?
Yes. If you want to find out more about this kit, it's available at our website www.ppis.sg.
So Amin, I just want to take this opportunity to make dua for you, because I'm so appreciative of the fact that you are here with me today to have this conversation. So I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect you and your family, and that you and your family would achieve Sakinah during this trying period.
MashaAllah. Thank you very much, Fajar. I make dua that Allah also will protect you and your loved ones.
Thank you so much. So that's it. This is the conversation that we have today for all of you out there, and we hope that this is beneficial for you. So we'd like to thank you for paying attention, and we hope this is useful.